And when I've talked to many agents here in Atlanta, they said to me, well, my broker doesn't provide X, Y, Z. And that's really one of the reasons why I pushed myself, because it was definitely long overdue. I should have had my broker's license a long time ago. But I pushed myself to go ahead and get it done because I had so many people that had a need for the right type of leadership and mentorship and coaching. And so for my brokerage, that's my goal. Yes, we all want to make money, but I want to cultivate a very confident and strong agent to be out there, and they can go out there
and dominate,
seal every deal without a shadow of a doubt.
Gotcha.
I want them to be able to go out there and feel like I'm literally sitting next to them, but I'm not next to them.
Right. Gotcha.
So that's the goal. So yeah, I do coaching and mentorship for new agents primarily right now. And on my Instagram, you can pretty much go into my bio and you can schedule a consultation. And I'm not the type of person that says, okay, let me coach you, it's $500. No. If you're not willing to pay your consultation fee that will go towards your coaching, then I'm not willing to take your money, because I need to have a conversation with you to see where you stand and see if you're even a perfect fit for coaching. And that is going to be determined by your mindset.
Gotcha.
And so,
abundance mindset.
Right. You have to come from a place of abundance.
Yeah. So
especially in that field.
yes.
Let
me tell you something. It's a do or die field.
It is.
I got you.
It is.
But it's definitely doable. Right. Definitely doable.
It is.
So as far as would you ever see yourself teaching like an online course?
I definitely plan on doing an online course. I have a lot of things that I'm planning to roll out this year and next year. I'm going to be working on my ebook as well.
There you go. There you go.
Haven't thought about the title, but it's really going to talk about I'm a licensed agent, now what? Because a lot of agents really are lost in the shuffle in this industry. And when you're lost in the very beginning of your real estate career, you find yourself constantly being lost. Mm-hmm. You find yourself constantly trying to put the missing puzzles to the pieces to the puzzle together. Yeah. And I just want the agents to know that when you come out the gate, this is what you must do. This is not optional, because if you do these things right now and set yourself up as a business from day one, it's nothing that you can't do moving forward.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So as far as let's see, we got. All right. I know I hear a lot of lease to own programs. I'm not familiar. I've heard about it, but I'm not quite sure how does it work? Do you have to be there a certain amount of time before you can qualify for that program?
So lease to own program, there's several different ones. All of them have different requirements and different qualification guidelines. So two of the ones that I work with is called Home Partners of America. Mm-hmm. And I like Home Partners of America because they're actually allowing people to buy in almost all 50 states. There's another one called Divvy Homes, which this is the new one that I've been exposed to since last year. Okay. Divvy Homes doesn't underwrite in all states right now at the present time, and they do parts of Florida but not all of Florida. Mm-hmm. But the one thing about Divvy is that they have the least amount of credit score, which is 580 credit score requirement, and then you have to have at least $2,500 in your savings or checking account to show for the purchase. And then the one great thing that I do love about Divvy is that they take a portion of your lease to own rent payment and put it into a savings bank for you, so when you're ready to make that transition from being the lease to own client to being an owner, that portion is going towards your down payment and closing costs. So that's what I love about them. And then Home Partners, they require at least a 620 credit score. I think you have to have at least $3,500 into your savings account with them. But all of the programs are very beneficial. And I say they're beneficial for who? Most of my clients that go through those programs are the ones that may have gone through, a rough patch where they may have had a short sale, bankruptcy. Mm-hmm. They're not quite ready for that waiting period for a regular mortgage, so they go into the lease to own program. And I tell people all the time, it has to be a situation where for a fact, without a shadow of a doubt, you cannot live without that home that you want to purchase. Some people may have their eye on a particular home, and in 2 years they may have their ducks in a row, but that home may not be available to them, or may even be more expensive to them at that point.
Because the market change,
It's a lot of ins and outs of it, and I try to educate my clients as much as I can to let them know that this is a last resort situation. It's not a bad option, but it definitely needs to be a last resort situation, because there's a lot of layers that has to be pulled back from that program. You're investing a lot of money in it just as if you're making a home purchase. But in the end, if you do your part, it's going to end up being your home anyhow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of lead work behind it. It's definitely not for everybody.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a program out there for people that can benefit from it.
Okay, because I've seen some people, they actually tried. They were actually in the program, and then the guy sold the house. They weren't in the program.
Well, see, so if they're talking about that type of program, that is one of those things of the past where at one point the lease to own program would be like you're the homeowner and you're gonna be the landlord to that person.
Yeah.
So now it's considered like a private mortgage from the owner.
Right.
And that's the old way of doing it.
Gotcha.
Now they have actual companies right now that are heading those type of programs
Gotcha.
where they're going to buy that property off the market cash. So that property is free and clear. There's no things going on with it. And there's a contract guideline where they're saying that you're going to be in this lease 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. And at the end of your lease, you have first right option to purchase that home.
Gotcha.
So they can't sell that house to anybody else while you're in that lease.
So I heard that a couple times. They've been at 3-4 years, and then when we sold it, now you like, come on.
Yeah, that's the old way. But the new way is they have it structured and they have it in the contract the right way, where it's going to definitely protect the renter, and the fact that they decide not to purchase or they want to purchase the home. And the good thing about it also is, although they put you in a 2, 3, or 5 year lease, if you happen to be ready within 6 months of getting into that lease, you let them know and they'll convert you from being that renter to being that homeowner. And another good thing is, because right now we're in low interest rates. We all know that, right?
Yeah.
Interest rates are phenomenal right now. So let's use the scenario of lease to own. If you lease to own that house today and that interest rate is 2.5%, okay, and now you're ready to assume that mortgage and go into the homeowner phase, you don't have to go through the whole process of saying, okay, 6 months from now the rates are 3.75%. No, you're going to get that 2.5% because now you're going to assume that mortgage from the current owner.
That's what's up.
So the program, and that's what I'm noticing, the programs, it's no reason, as long as you have some type of money saved, they'll put you in the house.
Yeah, and that's the thing that people don't understand about real estate. It's so many things to be a part of to become a homeowner. No, you may not be that homeowner today in the lease to own program, but you're laying the footwork, the bricks, and the foundation to be that homeowner within the next 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years. So it's no reason why people can say, I can't become a homeowner, except they're just making excuses. That's
so those programs, because I hear about them a lot. You talked about them last time you were here. How long have they been around? Has it been a while? And how long have been available?
So they have been around for quite some time. I think the one program that has been around for at least 10 years or more is Trio, which Trio at one point they was on a hold from taking applications because they had such an influx of them at the time.
Correct.
And in the beginning they were not always the most great or lucrative programs, but they've ironed out a lot of glitches and everything to make the programs more better and beneficial for the consumer.
Right, because that one that you just to have them put something aside for you and say,
absolutely,
hey, we're going to make it there where when you do get to this, it's not that hard when you get to that point to where you're buying in your clothes.
And then also another great thing that they do with those programs, they assign the client a credit counselor. So if they're credit challenged to get a traditional mortgage, which is typically a 620 or higher, they're going to make sure that when that 2 year, 3 year, or 5 year mark comes, that client is actually prepared and in a position to actually acquire that home.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right. Look into these programs.
And as far as being that we had a pandemic last year and we had the unemployment situation, would getting a PPP or EIDL loan affect you when you're trying to buy a home, or?
Well, okay, so it will affect you when it comes to your DTI, your debt to income ratio. So if that PPP or EIDL has hit your credit report as an actual physical loan, because some of them are forgiven, some of them are grants, so it really depends. If it has hit your credit report as a loan and it's reflecting a monthly payment, that payment is going to be factored into your monthly debt every month. So that's something that you have to be very careful with. And then another thing, we had a situation come up last year where a client of mine, and the deal didn't go through. She ended up getting the EIDL or what PPP, one of them.
One of them.
And it wasn't on her credit report. But when we got her bank statements, it showed a large deposit of that amount. So that pretty much threw off the entire transaction and made things bad. And that was something that she should have told us in the beginning, so we wouldn't know how to structure the loan.
Right, because when it comes to the banks, they want everything.
Yeah.
We call them every deposit, withdrawal, how much you're getting annually. Yeah, they want it all.
So with the PUA, the unemployment situation, would that affect you as well, or would that be added as?
Well, so no, unemployment is going to be considered as income.
Okay.
But keep in mind that unemployment is not giving you your full salary, so they're going to qualify you based on that current income.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's good to know because I see a lot of people just getting up like, you trying to buy a house, you might want to think about that first because I remember what you told us about you don't want to get too much debt before you try to buy a house because I see people try to get cars, this and this. It's like, hey, man, unless your credit just A1 and you just got a lot of money, it's going to be a little.
Exactly.
That's why if you know what I noticed, if like you go around, and of course you know about ego and coming, right? If you see most of those houses, they'll be $1 million, but the vehicle is not necessarily what people think it would be. No. It's nothing shabby, but it's not. People think it's just road. No, they don't do all that because they don't like a lot of debt. But the house.
But you know what? It's not even about a lot of debt. You want to acquire things that are going to give you a return on your investment.
Exactly.
And I all know that a vehicle can be as fancy as possible, but I haven't found a vehicle yet that's going to give you a return on your investment that you're driving every day. Unless, of course, you've taken that vehicle and now you're putting it out into the arena where you're renting it out to other people to pay that monthly debt every month.
And that's the only way. Other than that, it's a liability.
And I'm glad you said that. So, as far as with like Toro, how would that go? As far as not Toro, my bad, Airbnb. Is that something that you ever thought about getting interested?
Yeah, I actually have quite a few clients of mine that we've done Airbnbs for. The one thing that you really want to be very, very careful for when it comes to the Airbnbs, although they're very lucrative and that's the biggest thing popping right now.
Right,
you want to ensure that you're putting yourself in a position where you're not going to be sued, and I mean sued by the associations, because if you have an association in your community, they govern a lot of things.
Big time.
And I've seen a lot of people jump out there, and I've actually turned quite a few clients away because they didn't want to go through the proper process of making sure that it's going to be the right thing for them, and they just jumped out there. They went and got an Airbnb in the community, and now they're getting sent letters that they're getting fined every day, or they're in a community or a condo where they don't allow it. Now they got the Airbnb smacked on the site. Now the community has seen it, and they're finding them each day that their Airbnb is booked out without their permission. So you have to be very, very careful. And one of the things I tell my clients is, one, check with your association, and two, seek legal counsel. Because I'm not an attorney. I'm a real estate agent or real estate broker. Let me correct myself.
Oh, all right.
So seek legal counsel and definitely check with your association. And if all things check out with the green light, then we're good to go to move forward. And if we're good to go to move forward, you're definitely going to be making money.
Because this happens in Buckhead a lot.
Yeah, I know.
Those, especially by the shopping center. Where they had Dior and all that, it happens a lot because a lot of people try to get them, and then they have these situations where they calling people because they see different people coming in every day because people are nosy, they don't have nothing to do.
But as she said, a lot of people, they're not aware of the associations.
Right. I mean, in everything that you do, people don't understand. Like, one thing we know about life is people are very trendy. Everybody wants to follow the trend, but whoever created that trend, chances are the first person that created that trend, they did their footwork. They did their due diligence. So they're going to be okay. But everybody that's trying to follow through with them, they're trying to do part of the footwork. So now, okay, I got the Airbnb. It's booked out for 90 days. And I've made XYZ amount of money. But now guess what? Attorneys are knocking at your door and you're giving all of that back plus more. And you still have the overhead of still maintaining an Airbnb every month.
And you just bought it outright cash, and so does the Airbnb fall under the residential luxury tenant representation, or is that
not necessarily? Okay. So and the residential luxury tenant representation is actually different for every agent or brokerage. So when it comes to my luxury tenant representation, I typically deal with athletes. Most of the time when they're off season, and it typically happens more in Miami, in Florida. When they're off season, they're going to call me and say, you know what, we're off season, we're not playing football no more, we're chilling. Get me a nice high rise over in Sunny Isles, Fisher Island, and they're going to be paying between $6,000 to $17,000 a month. So, and that's going to be a 6-month lease.
Is that what you say?
$6,000 to $17,000 a month, depending on where they reside and how big of the place it is.
Yeah.
So you get you one good athlete, and they pay $17,000 a month for some rent, and that's half of your commission.
I got you.
It's like you closed on a $200,000 house.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering about that because I just know they not looking. Most of them don't look for themselves.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure they had to go talk to somebody. So that's good. to
Yeah,
know that they
definitely.
told them. So can't just go in somebody. I want to rent your apartment. Nah, it's not like that.
Yeah, and they definitely can, but in real estate, you have to be very, very careful, especially if you're not knowledgeable. And, you know, most athletes, that's not their profession, that's not their field, so they can go in there and think that, you know, they're going to be represented the right way with the person that's, you know, renting it, but it always don't work out that way.